Physically, I'm a dream. Emotionally, I'm a mess.
You might want to take a pause before you poke this bear. Hello!
I'm Hunter Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear.
And welcome to the Real Housebears podcast. This is a robot podcast.
That was amazing.
I did a redo and rewind.
You absolutely did. That was
If you play it backwards, you could hear me say a secret message.
Just this week we were talking about if time travel was possible, and I think you just proved that it is.
It's true. Okay.
You literally just like turn back down.
Oh. Yeah, so I've been watching this, like, the Universe show before I go to bed, and the other night they were talking about time travel, and I just kept my eyes open, and I didn't sleep for, like, 2 hours, and now I'm kind of terrified of the universe and time travel and, like, what that all means.
Do you want hell to freeze over, too?
I don't know if I would want to know what's going to happen ahead of time. I don't know.
And last night I watched one of the universes, and it's, like, the size comparison to, like, us and the universe and stuff.
Oh, that's
too much.
Right, yeah,
too much for me to go to bed on.
Absolutely.
Way too much. I had horrible dreams about being super tiny.
That reminds me of that one Christmas when we were in Montana and went to the planetarium. Is that what it's called?
Planetarium, yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Where we got to see how the Earth was made.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience.
It was actually, there's a lot of stuff I learned. I had no idea.
Absolutely. Well, we had a fun week and weekend, especially yesterday. You got to do something pretty fun.
I sure did. I was on a podcast.
A podcast?
A podcast.
You were on a podcast?
I know. I totally cheated on you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going solo now. I see how it is.
Well, me, Hunter Harden, was on Who Invited Her podcast.
I was listening out in the hallway and in the kitchen as I was cleaning, and it was so much fun to listen to.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, if you guys find the podcast, Who Invited Her? They are really awesome guys.
Oh, they're really, really super fun, super nice guys.
Really awesome. I've known them for a couple of years, been wanting to be on their podcast for a long time, and they finally had me on. You can also find the video of it on their YouTube. Who Invited Her podcast.
Who invited her?
I know you had to say, who invited her?
It was really, really almost impossible. I mean, clearly it was possible because I managed, but it was very difficult to not just storm in the room. You guys were in there talking about Housewives, talking about our ladies of SLC, talking about Teresa in New Jersey. Like, I was like, this is cruel and unusual punishment.
You've been punked.
I was so very upset.
I could feel your presence, like, on the other side of the wall, like leaning into the wall, like listening and probably fuming.
Like it's not like I was jealous to not like be on a podcast.
You just wanted to steal my spot.
No, I just wanted to talk Housewives with people. That's really all it was. I just wanted to be. I was like, oh my god, I have so many opinions.
You know? Well, you know what? The very first podcast I ever was on, and it's also my dear friend Big Dipper, who actually helped us start this one, like led us in the right direction. I was on their podcast a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Sloppy Seconds. So if you want to find it, it's Hunter Harden, Sloppy Seconds.
With Big Dipper and Meatball.
Yes, Big Dipper and Meatball. And you ended up being on the podcast with me. You had to come in and steal my spotlight.
Well, I don't search for the spotlight, but the spotlight somehow always finds me.
Am I being self-absorbed this evening?
Oh my God. I can't.
That was like the runner-up for my tagline.
It was. You shouldn't have said anything.
I'm glad that I used it. No, I got to use it in real
I'm
life.
going to use it next year.
Oh, are you?
Yes. It doesn't have bear in it, so you can't use it.
But I was invited into that situation. I didn't like force myself into that situation.
No. But yeah, go check out the podcast, Who Invited Her? And if you want to know more about just us, go to find Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper and Meatball. It's It's a little eye-opening.
And it's very not family friendly.
It's not very family friendly, especially towards the end, but it's a lot of fun.
But even most importantly, recently, I think we mentioned already on the podcast once, but let me remind you all again that we've been on some other podcasts, the Real Housewives of Reality. They posted our session together, and we had the best time. I promise that I will repost it at some point, but go check out the Real Housewives of Reality and listen to the episode that we were on and listen to them in general. And then, of course, Live, Love, Lab with Heather Gay and Dre from Beauty Lab and Laser. So first of all, if any of those are listening, thanks again for having us on your podcast. And those of you who are listeners, go check those episodes out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well,
absolutely.
Let's get into New Jersey.
Y'all, it's my birthday next week.
Had to give the guy 2 blowjobs this week.
Wow. That had...
What the was that? Laughing is fun.
That was quite a leap from let's get to New Jersey to making sure all the world knew it was your birthday. Well, maybe let's not get to New Jersey. I mean, I don't know. I thought that's what this podcast was about, but let's talk about your birthday.
I'm sorry, I blurted that out real hard.
No, you can't. Listen, I can't give you a hard time because, back when I was a classroom teacher, I practically made TV commercials about my birthday so that students would bring me presents.
Yes, I mean, you made out,
oh,
man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll give you that. But yeah. I believe that your audience is a little bit bigger than my 8th grade choir in South Carolina.
Well, you always asked for peanut butter and Starbucks gift cards. I want cash, please. Cash. Cold hard cash. I'm just kidding.
DM him for Venmo information. Oh my God.
Just kidding, you guys. But I am going to be 35 next week.
Oh my God.
I'm a baby.
I'm going to have to trade you in for a younger model soon.
I'm going to have to do the same for you.
You would trade me in for an older model. What are you talking about?
No. Just 2 or 3 years younger. I've never been with a 50-year-old. So you have one more year left?
A year and a half, yeah.
So, we'll see.
Year and a half will be the final episode.
Ooh, and we also just celebrated our 7-year kind of first time moving in with you anniversary on the 13th.
Our anniversary of living in sin.
Maybe in the future, man, we all move in with you.
South Carolina, that is sin right there. I'm just kidding, you guys. All right, let's get into this episode. It's episode, what, is this episode 4?
It is. Redo and Rewind.
Redo and Rewind. Redo and Rewind.
Oh my goodness.
So we open back up at Lake George. The ladies are getting their makeup done.
You know what? I really needed this episode. This episode was kind of one of those episodes where we can calm down a little bit.
Yes.
The first 3 episodes were just jam-packed of story and drama and emotion, and not to mention the excitement for us of starting a new season with a new City of Ladies. So I've been running on adrenaline lately.
Yeah.
So this week it's luckily, around episode 4 typically of any show, I would say, is where we're okay, we're not going to shove so much story down.
It has a
throat.
breather period.
Yeah, so I felt like I can breathe and just really relax and enjoy this. I mean, I enjoy every episode, obviously, but just, really just get into it and not stress so much.
Yes, I agree.
Teresa is hungover still at Lake George. Everyone is give me coffee. You know what? When I wake up hungover, I want water.
I want coffee. My mouth is just so dry, and I want something to coat my mouth.
Or I want a soft drink so that the sparklies will make my mouth feel alive.
The sparklies?
Yeah, the bubbles.
You mean the bubbles?
Yeah,
sparklies.
In my mouth, they're sparklies. When you're a unicorn, they're sparklies.
When they're in my mouth, they're buble.
You know what I did not catch last week? I mean, I guess I did see that Teresa was whispering into Dolores' ear about running to the house. Yeah. But I guess for some reason last week, I just didn't put it all together that nothing really was in the woods, that it was just Teresa and Dolores' reaction that spawned the rest of the women.
Well, there was something in the woods. There was noises in the woods, but then she leaned down. She's like, let's just get up and just run away real quick and scare the ladies by doing that. And it works. If somebody runs away from noises in the woods, I'm running too. I'm definitely going to throw the glass into the woods, just not to the side.
Into the woods. Absolutely. But I guess I missed it all last week for some reason. I guess it was
It's
the end of
because
the
you're
episode.
just taking so many notes so diligently.
Absolutely. So Dolores calls David, and he is not engaged in this conversation.
They're still not in a good place.
Dolores says that they don't talk about their issues, and she doesn't. Dolores not getting engaged was the best thing that happened to her. Because she can now use the excuse at any time she wants. Well, there's no ring on my finger. On my finger, or my fever. There's no ring on my finger. I don't have to answer to anyone. Mm-hmm. So I mean, go girl.
And listen, she's kind of got the best of both worlds. She gets to have a boyfriend that she doesn't have to stay super committed to, and she's got her best friend Frank at home that she hangs out with all the time. Her husband.
Her husband.
She's. You know what? I applaud her now. Like at first, I was like, okay, girl, you gotta like let go at some point. But you know what? She's happy.
Absolutely. She looks like she's having a blast.
And then she always has a friend there. You know, it's good to have somebody there. You know?
Oh, I mean, listen, she's having the best of both worlds for sure. But, you know, again, she did say a few weeks ago that David's not great in bed. So I'm like, I don't know what she's getting out of it.
I know. I don't know.
Maybe that's just not as much of a priority for some people it is for me.
You like a sausage every now and again.
You know what really made me sad? Like, the saddest part of this episode was the fact that Teresa and Jennifer Aiden didn't want to eat the croissant because it was fatty.
I didn't catch that.
You know what? I always think about celebrities and people who are living the public life and people who have to make their diet and exercise part of their job. Mm-hmm. You know, like I mean, diet and exercise is part of my life, but I can get away with gaining weight. Who's going to care besides you, you know? But the fact was like, eat the croissant, girls, eat the croissant.
Eat the croissant.
Eat the croissant.
Eat the croissant when you're shaped like a croissant.
Margaret calls Joe Bonino, and then she found out that Evan didn't go to Guys Now. I guess I thought everyone knew this already, but I guess she just wasn't in on that.
Yeah.
And then Teresa is looking at Tony, the pool contractor's Instagram.
And she's getting dirty messages and stuff from him.
Well, he's been sending shirtless pictures to her since last season, before she was even divorced from officially. But she claims that they've never hooked up and they're only best friends. I'm like,
that girl's been humping furniture here.
Listen, my dad once told me, you gotta have sex with your friends because your enemies won't give you any.
I was kind of afraid when she called Tony. I was afraid she was going to start doing like sex talk right there in front of all these ladies because she's been very sexually open about everything lately.
Well, and she called him honey when they hung up.
You don't call somebody honey unless you give them a blowjob at one point. Just kidding.
You guys are corny.
Margaret tells the ladies that the men had the night out, and Teresa didn't know. I was like, I guess since she doesn't have like a husband involved, I guess why would she know? I don't know. So doesn't someone give her the schedule for filming? But, you know, she's more madder now.
She's on a new level. She went from mad, now she's madder.
I'm just more madder now.
When is she going to be maddest? When she drowned her?
I probably would have drowned her.
Listen, I told you, Teresa walked so Jen Shaw could run because Jen Shaw has been threatening to drown people in this episode, in her episode
I mean,
too.
Teresa really is one of the queen.
She is.
Yeah,
I don't even want to say that Jen Shaw's running because of her because Teresa is still out speed walking her.
Yeah, Teresa is the queen.
Yeah, she's intense.
Of being kind of like a villain that you still root for.
I called her the C-U-N word 20 times.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of the early episodes, so I don't have that grasp of her being a cool, awesome person.
Yeah.
All I've seen is a table being thrown and don't talk about my daughters.
4 daughters.
And all this crazy stuff.
Absolutely. Iconic moments in television.
Yes.
Really, to be honest with you. But, you know, Teresa does not want to talk about something, but will do nothing but stop talking about it. That's what the past 3 episodes have been of Teresa just been saying the same 4 sentences.
Bringing up Jackie to trash her. I can't handle it.
But now she has decided that there really is something going on with evidence. She's made up her mind that there is truth to the rumors.
Because of the way she reacted, that it's got to be true.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? I guess Gia's doing stuff in the bathroom too because Teresa reacted so harshly to it, you know?
Now, I had some really great lines written down, but I don't remember who said it. Because someone asked, where are the ladies? And then someone else says, Teresa's trying to find a bigger pair of hoops to wear to the lake. That had to have been Dolores, right?
I think it was...
Or
yeah,
Margaret. And then someone said, Melissa could be doing a photo shoot.
Yes,
Maybe
I think that was Jennifer Aiden that said that.
She definitely wants her photo.
Either way, I was like, that was really funny, just kind of the way they characterize these ladies.
Okay, Teresa's extra large mesh covering her waist. I was like, you go, girl. You show it all without being.
I have to say, her butt is beautiful.
She's got a great body.
Teresa's butt is gorgeous.
But that neon outfit against her tan skin is making it
was
glow.
Wild. But they showed lots of butts. Like, who was the audience for this show? I mean, women and gay men. Mm-hmm. So why are we showing so many women's butts? I guess something for the hetero husbands.
Yeah, the people that have to watch.
Yeah, for those poor straight guys who are like, okay, honey, I'll sit and watch this. At least they yell at each other in this one.
They pull each other's tops down and stuff. Show a lot of social areola.
It's nip slip all night. I've always had the social areola, but it's getting a little rough.
So they're out on the lake, and it was so fun to watch them out on the lake. I mean, Dolores is quite skilled on the lake, and then Melissa Gorga on the Swan, and Jennifer Aiden's side commentary.
Who's more beautiful, the swan or me? Be honest, me.
Again, I'm loving Jennifer Aiden because she's still giving us some great zingers and some really beautiful shade.
Yes.
But she's being a quality human being at the same time, I'm really just loving her. But Jennifer is terrified that Melissa might not be the Swan Princess for much longer.
Oh my gosh.
She tells her the news. To be honest with you, I know that Jennifer is really nervous about telling her the news, and I would be too, because this is Housewives and people freak out. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, I wasn't nervous about this when it comes up.
Because she had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I was like...
And I knew that she had enough thought into it that she was going to deliver it well.
Yeah, and I feel like Jennifer Aiden really is in a good place in her life right now, where she's trying to do the right thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That part where Teresa is asking her dead parents to help her get laid. What is going on?
You know what happens when you pray to your dead parents? Some kid named Kyle, who's 27 years old, shows up.
I love it. They're like hitting on him and stuff. Like, how old are you? 27. Oh, bye.
Bye. I was like, hey, Nugget. I'm just kidding.
Terribles.
If you're having sex with me on the counter, maybe.
Everyone goes for lunch, and then the big moment happens when Jennifer asks. Everyone's like, "Why is she asking her to hang back? What's going on?"
Oh my gosh!
You remember what was it? Which city was it just recently where someone had some rumors that they needed to share, and they stayed inside when everybody else went out? It was Potomac.
I was going to say Atlanta.
Because they were telling, was it maybe Candace telling Giselle about I don't
remember.
But I was having a flashback nonetheless.
Oh, okay.
It was very like everyone's like, well, why are they staying behind? Why what can't we hear?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, but that is also
Monique
like
got really upset that they stayed inside and they all went out.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, it took a second to.
But you know what? Teresa is so nosy. The second they walk in there, she's like, "Wait, what are you guys talking about, huh?"
You know what? She feels probably the responsibility to keep the story moving.
Well, she is keeping every story going. She is the main story.
Yes. So Jennifer tells Melissa that she met Michelle at Evan's birthday party, and Melissa and Joe have worked with him before, with Michelle before, and her husband, and then tells her what she heard at the party. Owes him tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands? What the f*** are you talking about?
But you know what? For some reason, again, just as I expected, Melissa's like, okay, I'm not going to shoot the messenger.
I don't kill the messenger.
She's like, thank you for letting me know. I'm hungry.
Right? All of them, they were starving. You could tell. They were starving.
I'm glad that it went very well. Melissa is obviously like, what? But she's like, they'll take care of this. Like, let's just go eat.
Yeah, absolutely. But Melissa's like, okay, now I'm certain Teresa has to be in on this somehow. She has to know. They're friends. And Michelle is showing Teresa's house.
Yeah.
If there's any kind of drama to dig up, Teresa's going to know.
I'm so sick of drama.
She has to.
She doesn't seem like this coming up that she did, but we will see. But they go back up to eat with everybody else, and they tell Teresa about it. And Teresa at first is like, she shouldn't have did that.
Yeah, she should have did that.
or something like that.
She shouldn't have did that, or something like that.
She should have did that.
But then, instead of defending him, she really goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to her and her husband.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to a lot of these housewives and their husbands who manage all the money. One day they find out, oops, I've been Tom Girardi, or I've been Joe
Tom
Giudice.
Girardi. That's nice.
Or Joe Giudice, you know.
One of these house husbands.
Yeah, so even though Joe is defending his sister as much as he possibly can, especially later in this episode. And it reminded me of like last week, I think it was, when they were talking about the stripper club, that Joe went to the strip club with Teresa.
Yes.
And you were like, well, Teresa would just say, I don't know, I didn't have my eyes on him all the time.
Yeah, I didn't have my eyes on it the whole time
And
to
then-
leave it open for a storyline.
Absolutely. And then she did a year. I was like, oh my God, you have like ESPN.
Oh my God, I love ESPN. It's so good.
I think our antennas are broken. So they think it's a good idea to call Joe Gorga. I was like, oh yeah, this sounds like a great idea. We have all the phone calls to Joe Gorga. I bet this has been. He's like, I might as well just gone to the lake with these ladies.
I know, jeez.
As much as my name has come up and as much as they're calling me about crazy stuff, I should have gone.
It kind of sounds like this guy is being opportunistic for this money situation. It feels like, okay, you gave me the lump sum, but I noticed that it did really well, so I should have a piece in it.
I mean, say what you will about the Gorgas, but I find it hard to believe that Joe would be like surprised that these people think they're owed money if he really did owe them money.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Joe is the type of guy to skimp out on somebody's money unless they had a serious conversation.
And especially to talk about it on camera. Mm-hmm. You got to be confident if you're going to talk about it on camera.
Oh, yeah.
When you are on the Housewives, all of your secrets come out. You cannot lie. You just can't get away with lying on the Housewives.
Mary Cosby.
Really? That's a dig.
So Melissa goes upstairs to call him, and Joe says that obviously that they didn't have an agreement and that he paid. Joe's like, listen, I had bills. I paid them. The rest of the money, I guess, went to whatever foundation it was that they were working, the Gorga Foundation, maybe. I don't remember. So Melissa goes back downstairs and tells everyone Joe's side of the story. And she wants to know, she's like, well, Teresa, why aren't you coming to Joe's defense? Why are you still listing your house with these people who are bad-mouthing
This is your Buddha.
So I don't know I wonder if Michelle did eventually sell the house.
No,
I think Teresa actually did sell. Because she and her new boyfriend just bought $1 million home or something like that.
Okay.
So I think she did sell the family home, but I wonder if it was Michelle that was the realtor. Teresa says that she's going to see Michelle this week and that she'll bring it up. This was really weird because like they were on the lake and then back in the house and then right back on the lake
then they're back
and
in
then
the
back in the house.
Yes.
Like, where's the timeline here,
Yeah.
folks? I don't understand what's going on. But Dolores was, like I said a minute ago, she was killing it with the paddleboard until she fell off. And then again, they go right back upstairs to to see Chef Kevin. I'm like,
the chefs are here.
they were just upstairs eating right before the commercial break. I really don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, the timeline jumped a lot right here.
Yeah, but then we jump over to Jackie's house.
Nana is visiting Jackie and the kids.
Jackie seems like during this pandemic, she's really been like a hands-on mom. Like we're always seeing her play with her kids and doing things.
Giving haircuts.
Right. I mean, maybe it's trying to avoid her husband at the moment as well. But but you know, even in the first episode, she was talking about what it really did for their family. So
yeah,
you know, the pandemic had silver linings occasionally. Jackie's mom is taking the girls shopping while Uncle Eric stays and plays hoops with the boys.
Yes. This is the first time I've seen her brother.
He was in earlier seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in earlier seasons. But holy cow, can you believe that he was on that cruise ship that got like stuck at sea?
What a horrible, horrible experience, because I've heard people that have gotten stuck on boats before, and the toilets overflow.
Yeah, I've heard
They
that.
stop getting like cleaner water, and like they don't have enough food to last past than the 2 weeks of the cruise.
Absolutely.
So I can only imagine what horrendous horrors that could have been.
We freaked out for being stuck in an elevator for 20 minutes. Could you imagine? But you know what? Then again, I mean, I wonder if you still got like room service and maid service, or if you like got a big
I don't think so.
scarlet quarantine letter on your door.
I don't, because everyone had a quarantine. I don't think people were going in and cleaning people's rooms. You had to quarantine yourself and stay in your rooms.
That's like a cruise to hell. Don't.
Let's put some Housewives on there. Let's get them on a cruise ship and get them stuck.
So, in your family, do you call each other's relatives by their title, like Uncle Eric, Grandpa John?
Yeah, Uncle Brad, Auntie Barb.
I've never in my life, I don't think, ever called my Aunt Teresa, or my uncle.
What do you say?
Teresa, Tommy.
You disrespectful little
It's
nephew.
never been something in my family.
You are just disrespectful.
Hey, cousin John.
I used to be called.
All right, stepbrother Robert.
I get called Uncle Hunter all the time by my niece. I used to get called Uncle Grover when my hair was blue.
No, I mean, and I think it's also a big thing in bigger families as well.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying it's wrong or weird is just different than what I've ever experienced. And I never lived near my family. It was me and my mom and my stepdad most of the time by ourselves. So it's just whenever I hear it, it's kind of funny to me. I don't know.
I never really had grandmas and grandpas, so I never had the opportunity to be like, "Hi, Grandpa, hi, Grandpa." But that's what I would have done.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, no, my grandparents I just called Grandma and Grandpa. I didn't put their real name in there at all.
Oh.
You know, thank God for Eric. He's just like, you know what? You move on.
Try to get better at brushing it off.
Jackie's like, I don't, a friend, somebody that I work with is being awfully mean, saying some real horrible things about me and my family. I don't know what to do. And he's like,
Get over it.
yeah,
Move it on.
hang out with your friends, hang out with your family,
Do
hang out
something
with
that makes
people.
you happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really
Absolutely.
liked that part. It made me feel good.
Yeah,
I
they
love
have
this guy.
Yeah, you need to go back and watch a few seasons, like maybe Jackie's first season. Even her and her brother have a really, really sweet relationship.
It seems like they do. It's really cute. I really enjoyed this part of this episode. It made me feel. It gave me the good feels.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember? It also reminds me of like back in early Vanderpump Rules when Jax would talk to Stassi's little brother.
Oh yes, and that kid would give them like serious reality checks.
Yeah. Sometimes it can really just be that simple.
It is,
You're
yeah.
unhappy. Fix it.
Fix it. Yeah.
It's not always that simple, obviously,
No.
but sometimes
Stop
it is.
dwelling on things. Do stuff that makes you happy.
So, maybe, out of the mouth of babes. I miss Vanderpump Rules. The women are getting ready for dinner, and Jennifer Aiden put an entire diamond factory around her neck. Did you
That
catch that?
Chanel necklace, yeah, I have it written down. Perfect for boating.
Dolores looks adorable in that little sailor outfit. That was actually all the ladies look lovely. The women have really been looking gorgeous anytime they've dressed up on this trip. Mm-hmm. Like their lake wear, their boat wear. They've really been their dinner wear. They've really, I thought, have looked really great.
And dang, the food that they're about to get. I don't like the beets and citrus, gross. But like they even have lavender butter. Like
I want some of that.
lavender butter. Isn't that a smell? And a color?
Lavender is a flavor also.
I know.
Well, the ladies thought they would never even be able to have a girls' weekend during quarantine, and I wanted to be like, by the way, you're still in a pandemic.
Yes.
Like, just because you're not like quarantining in your home, there's still a pandemic going on. But then the conversation turns, and I hear this a lot of, on social media about, I feel bad for people who are single and lonely during this time. It's nearly impossible to date. You can't go out to bars. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with dating apps.
Yeah,
and
you're talking to some guy that has a great face on Zoom and stuff, but if you scroll down, he's holding 2 knives and he's going to kill you when he sees you.
Absolutely. If you did meet someone, do you want to risk that they have the virus? So I relate. I don't relate, but I empathize.
People have risked more for booty, so.
Come around the back to the basement door.
But Teresa, I was like, smart move. She's like, I don't want to create a dating profile. I don't want to link to the tabloids. But
That's
other
true,
stuff of
though.
that.
You really, I think for her, she really had to, because her relationships and life was really under the radar.
Yeah.
Like her relationships with her ex and like her new
Oh, you mean
life.
under the microscope?
Under a microscope. What did I say?
Under the radar.
Under the radar, yeah.
Under the
Whatever.
microscope. Yeah, absolutely. It really was. But I feel like a lot of other celebrities, I see them on interviews say that they have like incognito dating profiles on these apps. I don't know. Anywho.
A lot of people don't use those apps. They just don't.
Yeah. Dinner is served. Food pics are taken. Margaret got a book deal.
Get it, girl.
I think she's fascinating, especially when I hear all about her history.
I mean, she's having sex with everyone because she worked in the garment center.
Well,
I didn't know people that worked in the garment industry had sex with everybody.
If you think about like Calvin Klein and Ralph Lauren and all of those big
And
labels.
that's probably like in the 80s, too.
Yeah, that's what she said in the 80s,
lots
yeah.
of coke going around.
Yeah, absolutely. Big parties.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like Scream 3 when they talk about the old days of Hollywood and stuff like that, like casting couches. And, you know, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. But there was a time when you just accepted life for what it was. And at the time...
Remember that skit on SNL where it was like all the new strong women actors and then they had this really, really old woman actor and she was talking about the old days and how she had to sleep with everybody and, you know, you did coke with everybody. And there was so much misogynistic stuff going on. But
absolutely.
Hey, it was the 50s or whatever she was from.
And at the time, though, it was just sadly accepted that that's the way that it was.
I mean, basically that was... Sadly, it was one of the only ways women could get up in any kind of industry
ways.
because they were being held down so much.
Absolutely. So I feel like there was a little bit of a judging eye on Margaret from a few of the ladies.
I mean, there are some things that you just take to the grave.
I don't judge her a single bit.
Not a bit. Well, listen, be a sex worker as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to judge
I don't care.
her. You ain't paying my bills.
I'd sleep with my boss. I mean, that's kind of hot. I mean, especially when I worked at like Whitecap.
You're going to have to be self-employed.
I am self-employed.
So you sleeping with your boss.
I am pretty much sleeping with my boss.
Do you come every time?
But, Margaret, overall, she was like, I just want women to learn from my mistakes. So go, Margaret. Go, Margaret.
And I have been waiting for Teresa to bring up Jackie. And she does, because it's a lot of fun, you guys. We're laughing. It's a lot of fun. But if Jackie was here, we wouldn't be having any fun.
I really am embarrassed of how many times we just keep saying the same thing because they keep just showing us different edits in different scenes of the women, of Teresa in particular.
So basically, so now... Teresa, she's not only beating a dead horse to death, she went and found a different horse and is now beating the dead horse with the original horse that she beat to death in the first place.
She's beating it with a dead horse.
So she's grabbing another horse by the back of the legs, beating a new horse to death with the dead horse she beat before.
That's a horse of a different color.
Well, it could have been a Palomino, against like a black stallion. I don't know.
Well, for the 90th time, Teresa is not going to talk to Jackie until Jackie apologizes for the Gia comment. Dolores, again, thinks that Jackie should just suck it up and do what Teresa wants and move on.
I mean, I am almost at the same point because there's no talking to Teresa any kind of sense in the matter. All the ladies are saying she's not being malicious at all. And I'm like,
absolutely,
who cares if she was or wasn't? What she did was wrong. She needed to apologize.
When you say a rumor on camera, you are being malicious.
At their birthday party.
It's my birthday.
If somebody spreads a rumor on my birthday...
Oh, I'm spreading rumors all over Las Vegas on your birthday. I am going to every
Listen,
casino.
I grew up in Nevada.
They all know.
They already all know.
Well, the ladies sum up that they had a really great trip, even despite, this little bit of drama. So
I think they did have a great trip.
Yeah, it looked like
a lot of fun.
It really did.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a trip to the kitchen and refill our beverages.
Yes.
And take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, the ladies will be back in New Jersey.
Eating Nutella balls.
We'd love to give a shout out to our sponsor, Anchor Podcasts.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more.
You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place.
Anchor is where we started with our podcast, and it's been really great for us, and that's how you're able to hear us on all the different streaming platforms.
We love it. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Hello. Hello.
I'm Melissa.
We're back.
Back in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Back with the Nutella balls.
I don't like Nutella,
Me either.
so I couldn't imagine Nutella balls.
No balls for you.
Me either. I get that a lot of people really love Nutella and hazelnut, and I
A
don't.
lot of people are obsessed with it.
Absolutely, and by all means, enjoy your hazelnut, but I'm not going to say what it makes me think of when I taste it. And Margaret and Jackie are meeting at a place called Bread, and they're both having iced coffee. I
That's
had
what you
no
said.
idea that iced coffee was.
Well, we drink iced coffee a lot.
Yeah, I'm practically from New Jersey, it turns out, with
Basically.
as much iced coffee as I drink. But it seems as if Margaret and Jackie have a real friendship because they seem to really miss each other. Mm-hmm. Jackie says that she took the high road because of what happened the day before they were supposed to go on the trip. Mm-hmm. Margaret empathizes with Jackie for sure, but she tries to kind of explain Teresa's train of thought.
Mindset right now where it's insane.
It's pointless to point out all the ways Teresa doesn't make sense.
But Jackie's not buying it. She's like, nope, that was pre-calculated.
Jackie doesn't want to be friends with someone who can get away with the stuff that Teresa has pulled. It's like everyone's afraid of her. Jen Shaw.
Yeah, Jackie's like, why are you defending her when she got Danielle to pull your hair?
Yes, my goodness.
And Margaret's like, I forgave her. And then she's like, no, do you forgive Danielle Staub? And Margaret's like, yeah, I'm over it. And I'm like, I'm on Team Jackie in this moment. I'm like,
I need you to admit this was a lie.
girl.
Because Jackie's like, that is some boo.
But now, listen, I do relate because forgiveness really, truly is for yourself, not for the other person.
And honestly, if you know that you're not going to get an apology from that person, that's the best next step is to just forgiving for yourself and letting it go.
Absolutely. But, there was a family member with whom I was estranged for a very long time, and I held resentment. It was for like 15 years. I held resentment for every day for 15 years. And then just one day, I decided to just reach out and say, hey, I'm sorry for my part in this. And I forgave them. And my life has been different ever since.
Yeah.
Forgiveness really is something that you have to do for yourself. But Jackie is not ready to forgive Teresa.
No, ma'am. They've had a tumultuous relationship, Teresa and Jackie.
Absolutely.
So it's harder to just let go and forgive somebody when they have been horrible to you for a while now.
Yeah. And Jackie's like, I'm not getting over it till my husband gets over it. Sorry. Mm-hmm. It's real.
It makes me nervous how upset she is because of how upset her husband is. I'm like, is he hitting you or something? Like,
Well, I
are you
think-
afraid to be around in the house? Is it that bad?
I think it's a dynamic that they're just not used to.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that they generally fight.
It's just a little too much for me.
I think that they don't generally fight, and I think that Evan is generally a really passive, mild-mannered kind of guy. So I think it just has kind of rocked her world. Well, I mean, you and I, we get along really, really, really well. So when we do get in a bit of a disagreement, it shocks me to the core.
Yeah.
Because it's just not something that we normally do.
And we just don't like yelling at each other. Like, I don't like that.
So maybe that's why. But so she's decided to have birthday 2.0.
She wants him to forget everything about it, but this birthday party basically is all about it. Like, that's all it's about. Like, the birthday party might as well have a banner that says, remember what Teresa said?
Right?
Like, that's all. I mean, the birthday cake should be like, I heard Evan sleeping around at the gym. That's what it should have said.
No,
on
the
cake.
birthday cake should be one of those Barbie cakes, but it's a doll of Teresa sticking out the top. Don't, Evan, forget all about it. Happy birthday.
Balloons has Teresa's face on it. Yeah. Could you imagine?
All the napkins have Teresa's tagline.
I know. They have a cardboard cutout of Teresa with her saying that quote through it.
There's a parade for Teresa going down the street next to the restaurant.
But Evan, this is a birthday. I want you to forget about all of it.
Forget all about it.
Forget all about what Teresa
Teresa's
said.
even on this show. Well, speaking of Teresa, the next scene is with Teresa.
With the realtor.
Yeah.
This Whitney character.
No, Michelle.
Oh, is it Michelle?
Yeah,
Okay, Michelle character.
Now, Adriana forgot shoes when she went to her friend's house. How far away is, like, what is that? I don't understand.
Well, I understand this because there's been so many times where my friend that lived just right down the road, I've run in without shoes before. Like, it's just a kid thing.
Yeah, well, also, yeah, you're right. Even, like, sometimes if a parent came to pick them up, she probably was already barefoot and just ran out to the car.
There's been times where I've run out in my socks and put holes in my socks just for no reason.
I know this might come as a shock to you, but it's been a really long time since I've been a kid, and so sometimes I forget that you do things like that when you're a kid.
You still act like a kid, though.
I know, truly.
How many jelly beans have you been demanding for Easter this year, and it's not even April?
It is jelly bean season.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
February 15th begins jelly bean season.
We have already gone to Costco, bought the family-sized bag of jelly beans. He's already eaten that entire bag, and now he's demanding more.
Well, because there are different flavors and different brands.
You know what's really upsetting to me?
What?
Is that you're trying to make Easter happen on my birth month.
I'm not making...
You're making me share my birthday with Easter?
No, listen, if you wouldn't make the jelly beans a big deal, then that wouldn't be sharing anything.
I don't make a big deal about the jelly beans. You have been demanding jelly beans for a whole month now.
But if you would just let me have them, then what would be
You
the
did
problem?
have them! Teresa, do you understand?
I'm sorry, I forget that eating jelly beans takes away from your birthday.
No, that's not even it.
Talk about passive.
Oh my gosh, Teresa. All right, I'm sorry,
fun.
Teresa. I'm
That
sorry
was
for
fun.
not giving you enough jelly beans. I mean, Bear. Sorry, I keep calling you Teresa because there's some kind of similarities here.
I swear to God, I'm gonna f***ing blow my casket. I really am.
Oh my Lord. Oh.
All right, back to this lady in the intense pantsuit that looks so rigid and uptight that I'm terrified of her.
Hey, Michelle?
Yes. Did you see that? It is so tight. It's got so many buttons on it. It is the most... Okay, like if you have ever watched an 80s movie or something and you see like the evil, uptight businesswoman that
absolutely.
doesn't take any crap from anybody.
Absolutely.
She's in this pants, and that's the pantsuit. I mean, if you look at the legs and it is every single ounce of her is shoved into this outfit.
You go, girl. She's like, I want to be on TV.
She's like, I am a realtor, and she's like, comes in, she's like, all that religious stuff's got to go. Anything that's memorable, get it out of here.
Chad. Her associate is Chad. His name is Chad. Did you catch that?
There are Chads everywhere.
There are Chads everywhere.
The Chads are everywhere.
I love a Chad. I love a Chad.
I love a Chad.
Absolutely love a Chad.
We're boys for life.
So Michelle goes through this moment of like, let's go through the entire house and erase any memory
That's what I'm saying. Like, all memories, out. Anything sentimental, out. There's a Jesus right there, out.
I wonder if they were trying to give us the feels, but instead I'm just like, come get rid of these memories. I'm gonna take away these
But
memories.
honestly, it is true. When families want to go into a house, they want to see a staged house. They don't want to see a lived-in house.
They want to see the possibilities of what could be.
Yeah, and there's probably like somebody going there that isn't Christian, that
Right.
doesn't want to see Christian stuff or
Yeah.
like dead parents.
Well, it's like
memorials.
like on America's Next Top Model, when they would be like, when you go to go-sees, don't wear a lot of makeup, don't
wear logos.
wear very plain clothes because they want to see a blank slate.
Yes.
So I'm sure I'm so good at realting.
You're such a good real-ing.
Sell that house, sister. So Teresa pulls Michelle outside. She's feeling a little bit of anxiety and cold feet about selling the house, for one thing. But then
It's all too... Okay, I have to say something. These Bravo editors, when they're going through the house and showing all the rooms, the sepia pictured moments of her past in each room are being shown.
Yeah.
All the memories are coming back. All the dead parents and all the children adventures. Like, it's just beautiful. And you could see that's what's really going on in Teresa's head is these sepia pictures being shown of her family.
That's exactly it.
And so she's super nervous about selling this house, but she does have to say something to this Michelle character. I keep wanting to say Whitney. I don't know why.
Well, Teresa said that she's not going to list her house with Michelle until Joe and her husband work it out.
Thank God, because if she was going to let this kind of slide under the radar without saying that, I'm like, Teresa, you are just horrible.
To be honest with you, I'm blown away that she did.
I'm not. I'm kind of not. Like, I'm just really glad that she did.
Well, considering how she didn't have Joe's back when they were at Lake George, and scenes coming up when like Joe's freaking out and Melissa's freaking out because Teresa didn't have Joe's back. I was just surprised that here for a moment she had Joe's back.
Yeah, but you know what? It's family. I mean, this whole New Jersey thing is all about family, so I kind of expected it.
Well, well, good. So now we're getting ready for a birthday party part 2. Starting off with Jackie and Evan, of course, since it's Evan's birthday, and then Margaret and Joe, and Margaret calls Joe a simpleton. She's like, Joe, you can't dress yourself. You're too much of a simpleton.
I love Margaret. I think she's so funny.
And then, of course, I'm so glad we get a good Joe Gorga moment.
This is such a you thing, too.
Listen, I agree that it's kind of like objectifying his wife, but
it shows that he really loves her, and he's turned on by her. I love it.
But
this is okay. He's like, well, she's like, what should I wear? And he's like, you should wear that like red top so I could be the big bad wolf when you come home. And like, and that is such a bear thing. Cause like, if I asked my bear what I should wear, he would probably just say my slut socks and nothing else. So, okay, apparently if I wear knee-high socks, those are automatically slut socks.
Absolutely.
And I'm asking for it or something.
Absolutely.
That's not true.
Only for you. I'm not saying for people.
No, not for people, into just me, because this is our husbandly fun
because
time.
that is your unspoken calling card.
But it is true. Whenever I am kind of horny, I'll wear them and I'll put my legs up on the tip just because you call them slut socks.
You'll like, oh, I need to pull my socks up.
Oh, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'll put my leg up really high in the air and pull my sock up and look at it.
Oh my God. Oi.
All right.
And then, any moment we get Dolores and Frank hanging out, I bet you they have so much fun hanging out at the house together.
They do, and he goes everywhere with her.
Her husband.
Her husband.
Oh, you're a husband?
Is that what it's called?
That is so, I'm like a gay guy with you.
I'm like a gay guy to you.
Oh, yeah.
He's so adorable. I love him so
He
much.
is. Bill has an emergency surgery, so he's not going to make it to the party.
Gabrielle, she's like, I need to get to cheerleading practice, Mom. Jennifer is nervous because Jennifer does have a friendship with Teresa. She's a smart cookie. She's like, I know who has been on this show since season 1. I know who has a fandom beyond a lot of what a lot of our housewives have. I know who to like. I know who I need to pair up with. So I have a real friendship with Teresa, and I gotta be loyal to her at this crazy bad idea of a birthday party.
Joe is wanting to go, but he doesn't want anybody talking bad about his sister, you know?
Yeah.
Don't bash her.
That's my sister.
Well, everyone's worried. Like, this is going to be a Teresa bashing, I bet.
And I mean, the whole party had Teresa's name written all over it.
Evan's like, hooray, we're seated near the cornhole. That's all that matters. That's all that matters to him. He's like, can we just be seated near the cornhole?
Cornhole. Okay, when this company moved from the East Coast to the West Coast that I worked for a while, they had cornhole, and I thought it was called bag toss because I've seen it at like carnivals and stuff.
Right.
Cornhole?
Listen, in South Carolina, cornhole is like the state game. It's like the state recreational activity.
We're gonna go cornhole.
Absolutely, cornhole.
Sounds
I figured
dirty.
cornholio.
I just think of something dirty.
So it seems like Jackie is like using this party as a test of friendship. She even says
Yeah.
some things like, we're going to know who our real friends are. I'm
Yeah.
like, is that what this is about?
And I need to let him know that these are the people that support him, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you know what? She honestly cannot have any fun at this thing because she's feeling so guilty about everything.
She's just, maybe that's why Jackie and Teresa don't like each other. I mean, they're not similar in a lot of ways, but maybe they're similar as in like their stubbornness, because Jackie is just like Teresa. Let's not talk about Teresa while I'm talking about Teresa, because remember when
Jeez.
Teresa said that she was talking about Teresa.
Yes.
So it's just, I mean, it's like a mirror image of the conversations that at Lake George.
Yep. Joe Gorga ordered a mojito.
Oh, I like you.
I
know
love
you-
a mojito.
I know you love a mojito.
But I did like Jackie when she was continually talking constantly about this Teresa stuff. I like that she apologized to Joe about the Gia comment.
Yeah.
Even though she meant no ill will, it hurt him, and so she apologized.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. But that's what you need to do.
But Jackie told Melissa and Joe that this is the worst week she's had in her adult life.
That's what I'm saying. She keeps saying these things about how horrible it is. I'm like, what is he doing at home that's making this unbearably horrible for you?
I mean, I hope she was, again, I really think that they're not used to having that type of tension in their relationship. And I think it really has shaken them.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm also like, hopefully you're exaggerating a bit that this has been the worst week.
It has to, it's serious. Like, gosh, girl, you're like going crazy over this, and it's making me nervous.
But bravo to Joe for trying for a moment to like, you know, come on, Teresa, maybe she was just trying to let you know.
Looking out for you and
Yeah,
stuff.
looking out for you.
And then he just looks down and laughs, and he's just like,
I was dumb.
that was stupid, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What do you
you
want
know,
me to
what
do?
do you want me to do?
What do you want me to
But
do?
I'm so glad, because if he kept on going with that, I would have been like, Joe, you are completely
trying
blind.
too hard.
Yeah.
You are trying
But he's like,
too
listen,
hard.
it's my sister. What am I supposed to do?
That's my sister. What do you want me to do?
Poor Joe, I love him so much. Then Margaret and Joe Benino show up. Jackie is not at all being subtle about Evan and his feelings of everyone.
It's just continuously bringing it up.
I
She
mean-
even toasts about it.
Oh my God. Jackie and Jennifer have a big hug when Jackie is being so extra, and Teresa is the first thing brought up. Dolores and Frank show up. The food looks real good.
I love it when Frank and Dolores show up. Just them walking in together
You know,
just makes me
again,
so happy.
Yeah, I'm not really all that interested in who David is and what he has to offer.
I don't, to be honest, I don't either. And I love this relationship that Frank and Dolores have. I'm like,
Yeah, they're fun.
Just
They're
keep doing
fun.
it, girl.
I really wish they would just be. I don't want them to get remarried, but I really do want them to be friends with benefits. I don't know why.
I think they should be friends with benefits, but I do not think they should be in a relationship, because I think that's what will ruin their chemistry.
But do you think they could be friends with benefits and like date other people?
Yes, they're already basically doing it.
But they're not having sex.
How do you know that, though? How do you know? How do you know?
In our minds, they are.
Totally.
In our minds, they
I
are.
mean, Frank is he's a rough trade looking guy. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not the most handsomest,
And when
beautiful editorial kind of guy out there, but
and
he's
he's
just
clearly
a man.
full of testosterone.
Full of testosterone.
Look at
I
that big chest.
Ooh,
and those
I
big
just watched a
arms.
video of him working out,
Oh, yeah?
doing arm day. Ooh,
my Lord.
his arms could crush my head.
But they could.
Hi, Frank.
That doesn't happen when you're married.
Hey, girl. Well, listen, maybe Frank will buy you a 16-year anniversary bangle someday. That bracelet was serious. Melissa's 16 years of banging bracelet.
That's for 16 years, the same banging. You obviously do a good job.
16 years of banging bracelet.
Yeah.
I love that. Where's my 7-year banging bracelet?
You know,
I want a banging bangle.
a banging bangle.
Yes.
Frank comes up and Jackie brings the whole thing back up with Frank.
And I love it that she's like, before I get too drunk, I want to make a toast. I was like, honey, you're too drunk already.
Didn't we already do that in episode 1? Didn't she say, I wanted to do a toast before I get too drunk because she was already too drunk? And here again, she's already too drunk. to give a toast, so she's giving a toast before she gets too drunk. I'm like,
Everyone, I'm going to do a toast before I get too drunk. I am going to do this really well and really good. And it's going to be better than anything.
this night is not going to fix anything in their situation.
I feel like it just brought more attention to the situation.
But finally, someone make a joke. Joe's like,
thank
hey,
God.
Evan, I'm sorry you didn't come to boys' night. I was hoping you would bring the girls. That was amazing. That was great. But Jackie just can't stop. Like, stop, Jackie, stop.
Jackie is not easy.
I know. It's just, she just keeps bringing it up. And it's like, I thought this party was to forget about that.
Well, you know what? Let's have a toast to Jackie.
Okay, let's have a toast. Before I get too drunk, I want to do a
Before I get
toast
too
to
drunk, I want to have a toast to Jackie.
Jackie. Teresa said stuff about you. Toast.
What the was that?
Did I do a good toast?
That was the perfect toast.
I did such a good toast, and I'm toasting so good every day.
You are toast. Oh
my goodness,
That
y'all.
was dumb.
What an episode.
Well, you know, I think we just kind of got to relax and enjoy it without not covering two different shows at once.
And nothing was too, like, you know, a lot of this stuff has already been talked about.
I mean, how many times? Let's just keep saying Teresa talked about Evan and Jackie talked about Teresa or Gia. Let's just say that our next episode will be 1 full hour of us just saying that Teresa talked about Evan and that Jackie talked about Gia.
Yes.
We're just going to say that for a full hour straight next week.
Well, it's not gonna be good, let me tell you.
I can do it.
And it's going to be a full recap of next week's episode.
I can do it.
All right, thanks, folks. In the meantime, you know what? I will say there is a slight possibility that next week we might be a day late releasing. You know,
Y'all, it's my birthday next week.
if you didn't catch that. So we do like to try to make sure that every episode is released no later than Sunday before I go to bed.
Yes.
But next week there is a possibility that we might be a day late.
Yes, we are going to be traveling. We're going to be celebrating my birthday all week.
But I will make sure that Hunter does post our videos.
Y'all,
on
I'm so
social
sorry.
media.
I got in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got verbally abused
Absolutely.
on my birthday.
Birthday has been canceled because he did not do his job.
Y'all, I had a really bad back issue, and I had to travel to Roseville, California to see my sister to get worked on. And it was really hard, you guys. And I'm like, I don't come back. And then my husband made me clean the entire house.
That's not true. When you came home, the house was spotless.
But they don't know that.
They do now.
No.
All right. I
y'all.
promise there'll be no whining on our social media if you check us out on Instagram and Facebook at The Real Housebears. On Twitter, it's Real Housebears, and you can also email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
Find us on YouTube as well, and check out the videos that we got on there. And please go give us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Give us a 5-star rating.
Please, we really rely on those ratings. And you can also find us anywhere, basically, you listen to podcasts.
I haven't found place,
Spotify, Smashbox or whatever that was.
Anchor.
Anchor FM.
Absolutely.
You guys get it.
All right. Thanks for a fun week, you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Are you ready for a sound check?
Sound check.
Sound check.